With just a few clips from Erica Kirk and JD Vance, I can prove to you that Turning Point USA is falling apart from the inside. There were a lot of theories after Charlie Kirk died that this would make the movement stronger, that people would consolidate around the movement and rally around the flag, so to speak. But this proves that, for whatever you want to say about Charlie, his executive leadership at Turning Point USA was holding together a coalition that is now crumbling at the seams. There were fights on the convention floor between far-right groypers versus people who are still trying to preserve the old neocon party. There were fights on stage where Tucker Carlson was taking jabs at Ben Shapiro after Ben Shapiro took jabs at Tucker Carlson. It was an ideological battle and a clash, and even in the moments where there is not a direct conflict, it was still just so incredibly awkward. Let's start with this clip from today, where Nicki Minaj and Erica Kirk are speaking, and Nicki Minaj... First of all, why is Nicki Minaj on the stage? I used to love her music. I still love her music. I don't know what the hell is happening here, but secondly, she uses possibly the worst phrasing ever and says that JD Vance is basically an assassin. And what she's trying to say, I think, is like, oh, this guy's a killer. He's good at what he does. But what she says...
For young men.
And for young men, don't be new scum. Yes, see, dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin JD Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine. Yes, we did. I love you.
Obviously, a bit of an awkward moment. I'm not sure the momentum that was there a year ago with Turning Point USA is still there. The movement is fracturing, the movement is crumbling, and Turning Point USA will only get weaker. I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking, if Charlie Kirk made it to age 50 or 60, like the average lifespan, which I think he should have. It's really messed up that he died at such a young age, but if he made it to age 50, there would probably have been a few dozen more AmericaFests. AmericaFest 2030, 2031, continuing. I don't know if this is going to go on for 5 more years, post-Charlie Kirk. In 5 years, will these events even be happening? I mean, this event was such a shit show only a few months after Kirk's death. I don't even know if this will be happening in 5 to 10 years. So that basically debunks the idea that Charlie Kirk's death strengthened the movement in some way, because no, it didn't. Again, I'm not trying to praise Charlie Kirk here, but there was clearly some sort of glue that was holding the movement together, the Turning Point USA movement, and it wasn't Erica Kirk. It wasn't the Andrew guy that I debated on stage with Chris Cuomo. Remember, that was Charlie Kirk's right-hand man. All of the people around Charlie were woefully unimpressive, and it seemed like he was the one that was kind of building the movement on the back end. This brings me over to JD Vance. JD Vance takes the stage and gives a slimy speech that is laced in racism. I mean, the racism is obvious, but it's laced throughout the speech in such a way where if you're not listening, you might miss some of what he's saying. I mean, he goes on for like a minute or two about how America is a Christian nation. Christianity is America's creed. But he's forgetting the fact that his wife is quite literally not a Christian. His wife is a Hindu. His kids probably won't be Christians. So what are you saying here?
But I want to say something here. The only thing that is truly served as an anchor of the United States of America is that we have been, and by the grace of God, we always will be a Christian nation.
The beauty of America is not that America is a Christian nation. It's not. The beauty of America is that America is a melting pot of any sort of religion, all under one umbrella that's working towards, like, democracy, human dignity, liberalism, classical liberalism, I mean. All of these things are being worked towards by different people. I mean, like, a few thousand years ago, Muslim people living side by side with Christians, living side by side with Jewish people, living side by side with Hindu people, in one functioning country, with one functioning government, with one Senate, one House, all working towards the same thing. That was unthinkable. So the point is, that's what's beautiful about America. When JD Vance uses rhetoric like this, he's throwing red meat to the gripers. This is the big problem with what's happening right now, is there is no moral clarity from the top of the Republican Party to talk about the Nick Fuentes far-right movement. The only moral clarity that was given on stage was honestly from Vivek Ramaswamy, of all people, who now has every incentive to push back against the far-right racism because he's Indian, his kids are Indian, his wife is Indian. But one of the main reasons why this Nick Fuentes movement is spread so far and wide is because Donald Trump has obviously normalized and helped create this, but JD Vance in particular, he's a younger guy. Younger Republicans look up to him for moral clarity, and he is not giving any of that. He's not condemning any of this. When that young Republican group chat of like 20 to 30-year-olds came out a few months back, JD Vance didn't even condemn it. Didn't condemn it whatsoever. He even implied that the person who leaked it was a bad person. Now we have Vivek Ramaswamy going off on the groypers because he realizes what's at stake.
I believe, and you will forgive me for giving you an exact quote from our online commentator Nick Fuentes, if you believe that Hitler was pretty fucking cool, you have no place in the future of the conservative movement. You can debate foreign aid to Israel all you want. That's fine. That's fair. But you have no place with that level of hatred. You can debate the right resolution to the Russia-Ukraine war, but if you believe Joseph Stalin is someone to look up to, you have no place in the future of the conservative movement. If you call Usha Vance, the second lady of the United States of America, a cheat, you have no place in the future of the conservative movement. And if you can't say those things without stuttering, then you have no place as a leader at any level in the conservative movement either. Certainly not in my state of Ohio.
Listen, I used to follow Vivek around the trail in Iowa when he was primarying in the Republican primary, the caucus, and this guy is a slimy liar. Like, this guy was just repeating whatever he thought Trump wanted to hear at that time, whatever he thought would gain him power. But there is a but. What he's saying here is exactly what JD Vance should be saying. It seems like Vivek Ramaswamy dropped his MAGA shell during the caucuses, the Iowa caucuses, and now he's saying what he actually believes since he's running for the governor of Ohio. So as Richard points out, it's amazing that this is way clearer than anything Vance has ever said to defend his wife. Like, what the hell? JD Vance has not once stood up for his wife against these incredibly racist attacks coming from Nick Fuentes and his supporters. They call her slurs. They call her insane names. He does not provide any moral clarity whatsoever. Meanwhile, Vivek Ramaswamy, who isn't the vice president, he's not even in any position to power, he's providing that clarity for the movement. Now, this is the most awkward, most viral moment perhaps, where Erica Kirk has a pretty bad gaffe.
Despite the devastating loss of Charlie Kirk, my incredible husband at UVU, Caleb has persisted with the same gift. Grit. It has been a long day. Trust me, you're not a grifter, honey. It's all good.
She kind of played it off with that end line, but oof, that's what you call a Freudian slip right there. That's what you call a Freudian slip. In this next clip, JD Vance has some weird offhanded remark about Ukraine, which is disinformation coming from the Vice President of the United States.
We believe in honoring your father and mother rather than shipping all of their money off to Ukraine.
This is the effing problem. He takes these snide snipes at our democratic allies and then is silent on Russia. He's silent on actual authoritarians. He'll take snide snipes at AOC or Democrats that he thinks are too far left, but then he is silent on the extremist wing of his own party that is eating him and his family alive. When he says that we're sending all of our money to Ukraine, or he said we're sending all of your parents' money to Ukraine, that's not what's happening. Under the Biden admin, we weren't even sending money. We were sending 70 to 80% equipment, old military equipment that was about to expire. It was so expensive to get rid of this equipment that we decided, wait a minute, it's actually more beneficial if we just send it over there and then we can build more equipment, which boosts our economy. Now, the Trump administration has a new sort of Lend-Lease program that they're using with Ukraine, so even Trump understands that we have to send some sort of weaponry and money to Ukraine. They're going to pay back at some point, but What JD Vance is saying here is just disinformation. We have one more clip, and by the way, if you've made it this far, double check to make sure you're subscribed to the Adam Mockler feed. We've got some great debate content coming out over the next few days. JD Vance then talks about his reaction to Charlie Kirk's assassination. I found it interesting.
I'm going to tell you something I haven't talked about publicly before, but in the days after Charlie's death, I struggled a great deal. I'm sure many of you did too. I remember watching every video of the assassination, looking for clues, trying to understand what happened. I'd try to hide my friend and that terrible bullet hitting him, but I would try to look around. I stayed up all night, for many nights in a row, researching every conspiracy theory, going down every rabbit hole. When my lovely wife, Usha, told me to come to bed, I told her I owed it to Charlie to try to uncover every stone, and so that's what I tried to do. I remember I was consumed by this fear that Charlie's death wouldn't just deprive a family of their husband or of a good father, but that it would deny our movement of a great unifier of people and a great doer of great deeds.
I don't know about the great doer of great deeds parts, but as I touched on earlier in the video, Charlie Kirk seemed to have the type of glue, the structure necessary to keep everybody from infighting, to stop everybody from infighting, saying, guys, we all got to work together and fall in line. Erica Kirk doesn't seem to have the same leadership capacity or pull where she can hit everyone up and be like, hey, we're going to be on message this event. We have one message and it's attacking the Democrats. So now Turning Point USA as AmericaFest 2025 has been an infighting civil war the entire time. I'm going to leave it there. If you want more coverage of the conservative civil war, let me know in the comment section below. We're going to be making some great videos over the next few days. So be there, be square. I love you all. Peace out.